As we started the last video out with a look up the hill, we're starting this video out the same way. That adit disappearing from view now is one that we're going to go into, and it ties into those workings that you're seeing on your screen now. In an interesting way, I would add, as you'll see in the video. You always have to hike all the way to the top to make sure you got everything. So of course we did that here as well. This is where we went up to. It's just so much easier to see and understand from the air than it is for me showing you on the ground, which is a big reason I'm showing you this here. I wanted to give you a view of the surrounding area as well. There isn't much to measure here for scale. There are no trees or anything like that, but these mountains are actually fairly significant. I guess you'll have to take my word for it on that. And I really love these Nevada landscapes, so I'm throwing this in as well. Partly just because I love them, but I think you guys can appreciate beauty as well. That's the road we hiked in on. You can see that big ore bin I showed in the first video kind of in the center of the screen now. You can just faintly make out where we started way down there, that trestle going across the road. Believe it or not, that is where we started. Coming into view now, something more interesting. You'll recall at the beginning of the second video, I went into a short adit that had a weird little military fortification in the back for lack of a better description. And then behind that was a big collapse. That is what you're seeing right here from the outside. This is a big glory hole or open stope, miners call them glory holes, that has sloughed in and failed and completely plugged that adit. And of course that adit was used to empty out the glory hole. That rock in the middle is the size of a house. Unfortunately, I'm going to start out on the ground with some wind noise at this location, so be forewarned. If you can hear me over the wind, we started out way down there. The adit we just checked out is around the side there, and we've hiked up to this massive open stope, which the miners also call a glory hole. We just checked down there, make sure that there weren't any drifts or anything taken off, and everything, as you can see, is just completely caved and filled in. I don't know if the scales come across the camera. That's probably 100 feet to the edge there. And where you can see dropping down that void right there, that's probably 120 feet-ish. There's my shadow right there. It's a bit bigger than normal, but it kind of gives you a sense of scale. Pretty big hole they dug right here, I have to say. Scouting things out in the drone, it looked like there were possibly three more adits up there, so we're gonna keep running up the hill and see what might be up there. Oh, look, show the old fields filling right there. Anyway, not a good place to hang out for too long, given how much has come down, but interesting to see. That's the size of a house right there. That one. I'm not kidding, that is literally the size of a house. So that huge open stope or glory hole we just checked out is there. We've come up to the next adit, which is here in the sequence. Getting ready to go in. We're gonna look up the hill. You can see it looks like there's more open stopes up above there from the look of things. So drop in here and see how things look. Just inside the portal, a lot of air coming out of here. I already see an ore chute up there. Looks like there's a bird's nest right there. And heading in. Got two ore chutes. That's pretty cool looking. Two ore chutes. Lots of gobbing, lots of air blasting out. There's no one of those signs. Oh, that one's not as descriptive as the others. Yeah, that's obviously ties to the surface. There's a tumbleweed in there. Oh, I see daylight even through there. So yeah, this definitely ties into another one of those glory holes or open stopes up above. I'd say that does the same, given the bits and pieces of vegetation. Fire runs up there. Got some gobbing. More gobbing. Yeah, there's one
Obviously that whole section caved. Just like that other glory hole we saw where everything was caved in. Looks like this one did as well. At least in this section. There's something running back there. If I see looks like a wall of rock right there. So maybe check that on the way out. Big ore chute right here. Looks like a classifier right there maybe. You see all the dots right here indicating the amount of ore that came out. It's a good amount. Oh yeah, that's really caved. See how the wood's all smashed up? Ah, well, that section I looked through and thought was blocked is blocked going to the left, but it looks like we can go to the right. Glad I didn't try scrambling through that. Got a weird looking ore chute here. It's very small compared to the others. Looks almost like an afterthought. Like a homemade kind of messy ore chute here. And obviously a lot of weight resting on top of whatever I'm under. See a bunch of rock here. Let's come down. Looks like there might be something up above me. Still lots of airflow. Looks like something keeps running back there too. Oh wow. I just climbed up from down there and it's a pretty impressive sight here. We've got huge, we've come in the bottom of one of those glory holes or open stope. It looks just massive. I think I'll climb up there in a minute. I want to see where this drift to the left goes first. So it's my buddy next to me here. I'm going to shoot down here real quickly, see where that goes first, and then I'll come back and hit the bottom of that glory hole. Alright, I just climbed down from there. My buddy's coming down. Drift does indeed open up in front of us. Actually a pretty picturesque view right there. So they took some ore out on either side from the look of things. I think that just faces out right there, but I'll check in a second. Meanwhile, looking overhead, they stoped this big section out here. As you can see, man, so much stuff running off in all directions this morning. It's hard to keep track of things. There are the remains of a glass jug right there. Looking down this direction, yeah, see there is stuff down here. A big ore chute right here, which runs all the way up. This just faces out right there. Some wood tossed back there, but that's it. Now, there's a bunch of air coming up from that hole there, which is a weird place to have a hole, I would think. Obviously, that's an ore pass. I just think it's odd to have one directly underneath an ore chute like that. But who knows? And it runs all the way up, and you can see, if you look carefully, you see all the rock in there. So that's very, very loaded. But that here obviously ties into one of those lower drifts because there is air coming out. But I don't know why they would have that. I have this drift going off this way. Strange. Anyway, coming back around this way. Back in that other stope chamber. Little mini trestle right there. Keeps going. I don't know how far, but keeps going for now. Little side pocket. A little side pocket. I'm not feeling any airflow back here, so we may be getting near the end. It's like they were just kind of running off in all directions here. See, they have all these little side pockets and side chambers, lots of drill holes, like they were gonna keep going and then change their mind. This drift keeps running back this way. This might be the end, yeah. This is the end. I stoped it out a little bit, as you can see, but that's it. All right, let's go climb up into that huge open void. We just climbed up from there, and this chamber is very impressive, I have to say. Fortunately, my friends are here to give you some scale. They're looking at the rocks, but look at the structure of this chamber. I mean, those pillars right there, massive. This whole space is just huge. Goes to the outside world again there. There's a wooden platform there. Drops down here behind me. Presumably that drop down, used to drop down an ore chute or something. That's all filled in over there as well. Right here, I think it's filled in. Maybe not. We'll check that in a second. But I'm gonna climb up to where they are, show you a different perspective. Like there's a little mini drift level up there too. Pretty cool, huh? I was standing down there a moment ago. That thing I wasn't sure about is a little drift. It goes back maybe 10 feet and stops right there. Again, just to orient you, or orientate you if you're British. That's where we came in. We were looking up that way. And now I've climbed up here. Get a better view of what's overhead. Good view of the surface there. And you can see that's probably 50, 60 feet up to the top. There's a cool little archway right there. I can't illuminate it, but there's a cool little archway where the camera's pointed right now. I can't tell what's above this ledge right in front of me, but pretty impressive, I have to say. They moved a lot of rock here. And then over here, there's a little raised thing going up that way. It just dead ends. And then just past my buddy there, there's another little drift level. So I can get over there without falling down. Would make for a good video of it. I'm already damaged enough right now. Again, another view of where we were looking before, just to give you a sense of scale. And then looking over here, sliding down. Thank you. I was just crossing over from there. Another perspective on this site. You can see how it branches off up there. And again, that's where I started out down there. That drift level behind me here runs back this way. Can of something right there. Give it an old grease bucket. Rats are making use of it now. A bunch of wood tossed back here. And that appears to be it. Except for a big hole dropping down. It looks plugged down there. I don't feel any airflow. It's really warm back here, which is interesting. Yeah, I think that's plugged because if that led to something, there would be air blowing up here. It says nice and warm. Okay, that section with a big open pit, glory hole, open stope, whatever you want to call it, above us. Back up that way. Just finished checking out that section. Refresh your memory. This is the way we came in. Those huge ore chutes right here. And we hadn't gone down this drift level yet, so we will do so now. Remember we looked through here before. That's where we came in from over there. Looks like the remains of a skip car right there. Kind of a primitive one, but still a skip car. A lot of airflow coming from this direction as well. Backfilled side chamber on my left. Got a ladder going across here. Air blasting out from down there.
The ladder's good, we did it.
There's a view. Yeah, I figured it was. There's a view looking down. See that cable right there, which used to support that stuff. It's kind of interesting. Old manway right there. It's very badly failed. Roof keeps going that way. I gotta concentrate getting across this. Looks like obviously had a manway. Yeah. Manway dropping there. That goes straight down. I bet that chamber we looked up before, to the very top of that big one down below us, I bet this is it right here. There's a lot of air coming up. Just kind of looks like the top of that looked. And we go back here. Just dead ends right there. And this appears to dead end right here. Cool. Anyway, as I was saying, pretty sure this is the top of that we looked up to before. Nice, bud. That would have been great. I got that on camera too.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
Made it to the top. We drove in, across that area there. There's that big ore bin down there. There's a trestle where we started out way below. A few prospects and open cuts up here. You can see down into those big holes. We were looking up before. And that is it. We're at the top. There's nothing up here except the wind and the carved section out, but stopped right there. So that's it. I have to say I underestimated this mine. This is actually ended up being a really cool mine. So glad we made the effort to get out here. Hope you guys enjoyed this one too.